Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vasadhya Vishadharine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Jaya Giri Govardhan 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 Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ananda Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Welcome. Everyone, welcome Amit, welcome Prakash, welcome Vijay. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nata Santas tu Yogos Sti. Na Shekantam Anas Nata. Nachati Swapna Silasya. Jagrato Nava Charchuna.
Oh, it's getting better and better. Except the first line. Nati ash nantas becomes nadyantash. We had many times this kind of thing. Okay, translation, Amit.
There is no possibility of one becoming a yogi, Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Regulation of diet and sleep is recommended herein for the yogis. Too much eating means eating more than is required to keep the body and soul together. There is no need for men to eat animals because there is an ample supply of grains, vegetables, fruits, and milk. Such simple foodstuff is considered to be in the mode of goodness according to Bhagavad Gītā. Animal food is for those in the mode of ignorance. Therefore, those who indulge in animal food, drinking, smoking, and eating food, which is not first offered to Krishna, will suffer sinful reactions because of eating only polluted things. Ujute te teva agam papaya pakante atma paranat. Anyone who eats for sense pleasure or cooks for himself, not offering his food to Krishna, eats only sin. One who eats sins and eats more than is allotted to him cannot execute perfect yoga. It is best that one eats only the remnants of foodstuff offered to Krishna. A person in Krishna consciousness does not eat anything which is not first offered to Krishna. Therefore, only the Krishna consciousness person can attain perfection in yoga practice. Nor can one is artificially abstain from eating, manufacture his own personal process of fasting, practice yoga. A Krishna conscious person observes fasting as it is recommended in the scriptures. So the Krishna conscious person observes his fasting, recommended in the scripture. He does not fast or eat more than is required, and he is thus competent to perform yoga practice. One who eats more than required will dream very much while sleeping, and he must consequently sleep more than is required. One should not sleep more than 6 hours daily. One who sleeps more than 6 hours after 24 is certainly influenced by the mode of ignorance. A person in a mode of ignorance is lazy and prone to sleep a great deal. Such a person cannot perform yoga.
Jai. Thank you, Amit. Nanyatyashnadastu yogosti. Nache kantam anashnata. Nachachi swabna shilasya. Chakatonaiva charchuna. First of all, welcome Rituan Vihari Prabhu Jayanti Bai. Omagenati Mirandasya Gananchana Shalakaya Jakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Shtavitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamayam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyudapatakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Zakrajatam Zahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parichana Zahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivishakhan Vidamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagadapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Dhabta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Paditanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation again, there is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi or Arjuna if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. That's a very interesting verse. So, we all want to become yogis. In fact, we are yogis, bhakti yogis. That's a yoga, the topmost yoga. So we are still in the yoga chapter, called here Jnana Yoga. So Krishna explains, first of all, to Arjuna, by all means, be a yogi. So that is important, being a yogi. So everyone should want to become a yogi. But there is a proper process. Not a hatha yogi, not a jnana yogi, not the karma yogi, not the ashtanga yogi, but the bhakti yogi. And here Lord Krishna explains a little bit more. What is a frame of mind of a yogi? So Krishna says it's not possible to become a yogi if one eats too much, overindulgence in food. 3 times a meal and so many snacks in between and so many things. So we all shall know when, or should know when, we have enough nourishment to keep body and soul together. And everything more than that, nice, good, tasting food, said might be too much. Of course, that is very individual also. I made, not only me, an interesting observation. People are quite slim, men and women. Once they get married, they're putting on weight. The women putting on weight, the men putting on weight, because they have settled down in a comfortable life, and then eating is a very important part. So here Krishna says, don't eat too much. And also, don't eat too little. There may be some persons who would like to starve themselves superficially. That's nice and good. It's a balance. Not too much, not too little. And it's the same with sleeping. Not too much, not too little, not enough sleep or too much sleep. Srila Prabhupada gives a number, interesting number, 6 hours. Who can do that? Let's see. Is 6 hours possible? Ritu and Prabhu.
Prabhu Rituvan Vihari
It's Amrita Radhimati. Okay.
6 hours only usually.
Now you're breaking up. You have a bad connection.
Yes.
But
Oh, sorry. I'm saying that Rituvan Vihari Prabhu usually sleeps for 6 hours.
7 hours sometimes.
6 hours. And you?
Yeah, Prabhu, 6 to 7 hours with loads of break in the middle because my
Is that
son
just still
wakes up
keeping you
at night.
awake at night? You should be sleeping through the night by now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, what? You spoiled him.
No, sometimes he wakes up.
Yes. Amit, what about you? Is 6 hours realistic for you?
Yeah, 6 hours is fine for work. I normally 6 or 7 hours I do.
Yes, yes. Vicha, what about you? Vichai, are you there? So we all quite yogis here. What to speak of me? I get most of the time 4 and 5 hours, but that has a different reason because I'm waking up and I have to go to the bathroom. So sometimes I get only 2 hours in one go, or 3 hours, which is a maximum. So what can be done? So the point is to keep a balance, and it looks like everyone here is quite a yogi, as we should be. Diet and regulation in diet and sleep is recommended for the yogi. Or as Srila Prabhupada gives a formula here, not only in this purpose, but in other purposes as well, one should eat as much as is required to keep body and soul together. And then Srila Prabhupada, of course, he makes a very important point that animal food is not required. There's plenty in our countries, plenty of grain and vegetables and fruits and available. These are all in the mode of goodness according to Bhagavad Gītā. And animal flesh, including eggs and fish, is in the mode of ignorance. Or as Shastra defines it a bit more, foodstuff which is derived from semen directly, like an animal, an egg that is not fit for consumption. And of course, Srila Prabhupada points out in other ways, not in this purpose, but if one indulges in meat eating, then meat is very difficult to digest, and drinking alcohol goes along with it to help the digesting process. So generally, meat eaters are also drinking alcohol, some wine after the dinner. And Srila Prabhupada mentions smoking and food which is not offered to Krishna. That's a very important point. And he quotes a verse, Punchate tvagam papa ye pachat atmakaranat. And that's, of course, that famous verse. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is first offered for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. So here's the importance of offering our foodstuffs, whatever we eat, wherever we are, to Krishna first. Because Krishna himself says, if you don't offer your foodstuff which you will be eating as a sacrifice, offering the food to Krishna is a sacrifice. A sacrifice doesn't necessarily mean a fire sacrifice with fire and grains thrown into fire, a big procedure, or an Ashwamedha Yagya, or these big, or Rajasuya Yagya, these big sacrifices. No, that's not needed. The sacrifice is to offer one's food first. That's a sacrifice also. So that has to be done. Not sometimes, but all the time and all the food. So what about food which is not really eatable? Tea and coffee. Then that Krishna won't accept that. So then the question arises, are we eating it anyway? Or are we abstaining from it? And here Krishna says, if we prepare food for our personal sense enjoyment, we are eating only sin. What does that mean? We're eating only sin. Amit, what do you say? What could that mean? Eating only sin. How can we eat sin? Amit, what do you suggest is that meaning?
I think what it means is if the person is cooking the food, has sin, or in terms of like anger, hate, or not thinking, like honestly, then you're picking up on his or her feelings.
Karma, we could say.
Karma.
Yes, that's a good answer. Let's say we're eating in a restaurant and the chef is indulging in all kind of sinful activities in illicit sex life. He is drinking as well, smoking, and the chef may be a meat eater as well. So if we don't offer food to Krishna, then we partake in his karma. To cut it short, we partake in his karma. And especially grains. Grains carry the karma of the person who is cooking the grains. So for devotees who are very, very strict, they will not accept food cooked by anyone other than a devotee. Because devotees, they will not eat meat and drink and smoke and have illicit sexual connections. So that karma is not in the life of a devotee. So therefore they will, and the food is offered on top of it. It's offerable. There are some. In India, there are some section of brahmanas, they will only cook for themselves, not even their wives they will accept. But that's a very, very strict procedure. So generally, how can an offering be done? Vijay, how can we offer our food? Let's say we're on the airplane. We're traveling somewhere. We have brought some food with us and we have offered it. That is even the best. But if somehow or other we have to take some vegetarian airplane meal, how would we offer that?
You could recite the Hare Krishna mantra, or you could think of Krishna when you're offering.
That's nice. That's a simple. Yes, carry on.
Think of his lotus feet. You're offering it to his feet, or any remembering Krishna, however you want to remember. Think of him before you eat is what I maybe suggest.
Yes, that's nice. Offering it to Krishna. in a situation like the airplane, in the mind. We don't have to take out a bell and put some picture altar up on the tray and then very loud, which everybody can hear, Nama Vishnu Padaya. No, we don't need to do that. We can chant the Maha Mantra within the mind, or whispering it if we like, or chanting in the mind. 3 times the Hare Krishna mantra, thinking of Krishna. Dear Krishna, I am offering you this food. Please accept it. With that mood, we can do that. And that is a simple offering. Anyone at home who has an altar in their house, you should make a more elaborate offering. You should chant a full offering mantra, which is Namo, the first Srila Prabhupada's pranam mantra. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurunavacharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshita. Everybody should know this mantra. And if you have been initiated, then your respective spiritual master said mantra you chant also. And then the next mantra to chant is Namo Mahavedannaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namana Guru Tvisha Namaha. And the last mantra is Namo Brahmanya Deva Go Brahmana Hitaya Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. And 3 times all of that. That is the perfect offering, as every temple, Hare Krishna temple, will chant these mantras when the food is offered on the altar. Doesn't take much. These mantras, at home, you have a home altar. Ami, do you have an altar at home?
Yes, Prabhu, I have an altar.
Consisting of what?
I keep it simple, Prabhu.
Simple is
because
good.
yeah,
Who is on your altar?
it's just a photo that's just like some gods.
A photo of
Like I've got a photo like of Krishna.
Vishnu?
Krishna.
Krishna, okay.
That's it, really. I keep it simple.
A photo of Krishna, yes. It would be nice if you have also a photo of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, also Pancha Tattva, and very important, a photo of Srila Prabhupada. Because we are actually offering our foodstuff to Srila Prabhupada, because we are dasa, anudasa. We are servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. We don't really approach Krishna directly. With the offering is the same. We don't offer directly to Krishna. We offer it to our spiritual master. We offer it to Srila Prabhupada. And he takes that offering and he offers it through the Guru Parampara. He offers it to his spiritual master, and he to his spiritual master, and his spiritual master, and then it goes directly to Krishna. So we are removed. That's a safe position, 100 times removed. That's a procedure. We are offering, so therefore you should have a picture of Srila Prabhupada there. And you offering in that consciousness and in that mood, you're offering the food to Srila Prabhupada, and in that consciousness that he will offering that food to Krishna. That's a safe position. And the Mahaprasadam goes reverse. It goes through the Guru Parampara and then given to us. So, and also a photo of Krishna. The best altar is you have the photo of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. We cannot. Krishna is, Vrindavan Krishna is very confidential, very high level. So we are advised to offer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So a simple altar is to have a picture of Guru and Pancha Tattva, so 5. These pictures can be picked from the internet anywhere and printed out, put a frame around it, or go Nitai, or photo of our Nitai Sachishunda. That would be a very nice altar. There are 2 photos, very simple. Keep it simple. Shobna, Ben, Hare Krishna. Welcome. We're just speaking about how to offer foodstuff to Krishna. You have a simple altar at home, or as Rituan and Amritarati Mataji, they have a very nice arrangement, almost it's like a temple arrangement, an altar there, with deities. They have deities there, and they offer their food. All the food needs to be offered to the deities or to a picture. So we just spoke about a simple picture altar, Panchatattva, or Gaur Nitai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, and Guru, Srila Prabhupada. So we don't want to fall into that category where Srila Prabhupada is saying, Krishna is saying, we only eating sin if we don't offer our food. We getting the sinful reactions. So let's go back to the verse of today. Srila Prabhupada, after that verse, quoted, Unchate te tvagam papa. Then he says, Srila Prabhupada, anyone who eats for sense pleasure or cooks for himself, not offering his food to Krishna, eats only sin. And then he says, one who eats sin and eats more than is allotted to him cannot execute perfect yoga. So it's not possible to be a yogi, neither a bhakti yoga or any other yogi, if we don't regulate our food intake and we don't offer our food. It's best to eat only the remnants of foodstuff offered to Krishna because it's spiritualized. Krishna is very amazing. Or Lord Chaitanya, also Krishna. Nityananda. Krishna is amazing. He accepts our foodstuffs. And how does he eat? Okay, let's ask that question. That's an interesting question. How does Krishna eat? We're putting the food in front of the picture or the altar, saying our prayer. So how does Krishna eat? Vijay. Have you ever seen Krishna eating? He's extending his hand and picks up the food stuff. Vijay, are you there? No, your microphone is muted. Amit, how does Krishna eat?
I'm not sure, Prabhu. I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to this.
Yes, this is a good question. Huh? How does Krishna actually eat? Rituan, Amritarati Mataji. How does Krishna eat? We know how we are eating. Spoon and fork, fingers. So,
As said in Brahma Samhita, he can eat through all senses. One
mm,
sense can be interchanged with others, but also like from the rasa point of view, whatever a devotee offers with love, he will eat that, and to please, to please the devotees also, just like Krishna ate the peels of banana when Vidura's wife was offering them to him.
Tell us a story.
Yes, Prabhuji?
Tell us a story. How did that happen?
Okay.
Vidura, everybody knows from Mahabharata.
Yes, Prabhuji. So,
So what
yeah,
happened?
actually, when Krishna came to Hastinapur to speak to the Kauravas and offer, basically to avoid the battle, Krishna knew that this is not going to happen, but just to give them a chance. So what Duryodhan did is that Duryodhan prepared a big feast and invited Krishna. But Krishna knew that he doesn't have any devotion for him, and he's basically like an eye wash what he is doing. So Krishna told Duryodhan, he rejected the offer, and he told Duryodhan that there are two reasons why a person would like to eat when invited. One, if there is love in that invitation, and number two, if otherwise if the person is hungry. So I am not hungry, and I know that you don't have any love for me, so I'm not going to accept what
Beautiful.
you are offering, even if it was maybe the most opulent of the. So then he said, I'm going to Uncle Vidura's house, because apart from the Pandavas, they are that family is one of the families. Apart from the Pandavas, the only family who loves me. So he went there, and Vidurani, or the wife of Vidur, was expecting Krishna would come. And when Krishna came, she was so overwhelmed with joy that she forgot everything out of ecstasy, and she invited Krishna. Krishna sat in front of her, and instead of giving the ripe chosen bananas which she has chosen to give to Krishna, but in that ecstasy, in that overwhelming joy, she forgot what she was doing. She was peeling off the banana. Instead of giving the ripe banana to Krishna, she was giving the peel and throwing away the bananas. So she was so absorbed in the when Krishna was there, and Krishna was eating them without even complaining. What to speak of complaining? Without even making any change of his face, because just if we are given banana peels, and if we are even forced to eat them, our automatically that it is a peel, and he was just basically taking the love out of that offering, just like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gītā. Patram pushpam phalanto me yo me bhakta prayachati tadaham bhaktiyuparitam ashnami prajetatmana. So I take the love out of that offering. So that's what Krishna was doing. And then Vidura came and saw this scene, and Vidura was very angry. What are you doing? This is Krishna who has come here, and you are offering the peels. Then she realized, what am I doing? And then Krishna said, Uncle Vidur, this was probably the most wonderful and most loving offering that was, and I was enjoying more than the banana itself, which you are now offering. So that was a wonderful story.
Thank you very
Pastime,
much.
basically.
What
Krishna.
a beautiful pastime. Of course, Krishna can eat anything. He can eat the entire universe. So surely he can eat banana peels, but the love, that's what it is. And I really like the part how you told the stories that Duryodhan, if someone is eating, is invited, either there is love there, and then he will come, or he's very hungry. And Krishna says, I'm not hungry, and I know you don't love me, so I will go to Vidur's house. Yes, so we know when we come to Derby on the 13th of this month, there will be love there, and we will be hungry as well. So that's a perfect situation. We know that. Hare Krishna. So beautiful story. Yes, thank you. it is important by hearing these stories that the offering has to be done with love. What is that love? How? Let's describe that love a bit. How can we offer with love? Let's hear. Vijay, are you there? Yes.
Yes, can you hear me? Yeah.
So what does that mean, offering with love? Can you describe that? What does that mean? I mean, if we have love for someone, another human being, parents or brothers or sisters or friends, we know what that is. With love, we giving them a hug. That is love. We have some loving exchanges. The Shastra speaks of loving exchanges amongst the devotees. Anyone knows? Vijay, you know what are the loving exchanges amongst devotees? Because love is not just, I love you. No, there is some practical implications. It's not just word. Just imagine we coming home and the wife hasn't cooked the dinner. And the husband is asking, well, why no dinner today? I said, no, I haven't cooked dinner, but I love you. So that expression of love, just some words, is not showing love. Love has to be shown through action. So how can we show our love to Krishna?
You can it's when you show love to devotees, it's doing service but not expecting anything back. So it's like unconditional. It's like a mother when she takes the child to school, even when the child's naughty or something, he plays up. The mother, once their duty, out of love, she takes the child to school. So it's like doing something but not expecting anything in return. So that's love.
That is a high level of love.
Yeah.
We're doing something but not expecting anything in return. That is pure love. That is a love the gopis have for Krishna. The Sakhas have for Krishna. Unconditional love. We may not be on that level, so in the meantime we can offer all the love we have, although we may still want something in return. Of course, strictly speaking, if we want anything in return, that exchange is not really love. It's a business exchange, as Srila Prabhupada points out many times. Business means I give you that, you give me this. That is business, and mutual exchange. That's business. So if we want something back from Krishna, we offer Krishna some nice food and so many other items, but in the back of our mind we're thinking, or we may even pray, but please Krishna, give me this. I offering you this and you give me prosperity, you give me money, you give me health, you give me a beautiful wife, some educated children, a bigger car, a bigger TV, a bigger this, a bigger that. So that exchange is a business. I do for this and you for you, and you do something for me. So that is not the level of love we're speaking. We're speaking of what Vijay has explained, of unconditional love. We offering Krishna something, food in this case we are talking about, without any expectations. If Krishna will eat the entire plate of food, then we are in total ecstasy. We will happily fasting. Krishna has eaten the offering on the altar. If he does that, your life is perfected. You go back home, you got it. If Krishna is actually visibly, he can do that, visibly eating the offering from the plate. There was a story, you heard it probably before, that there was a Brahmin and he had a family and one child, one young boy, perhaps 5 years old. In India, children 5 years, they're much more mature than here in the West. So he had deity at home, he had an altar, and he regularly offered the foodstuffs. They were a poor family. They more or less lived from the Mahaprasad. So that was what they nourished themselves. So that Brahmin, he did regularly offer, the wife cooked and he regularly offered. And then he brought the offering out and then took it from the offering plate, washed the plate, dried it, and then they shared out the food, the Mahaprasad, to all three, wife, husband, and son. But it so happened he had to go to a distant town, market town, to purchase something. And he thought his 5-year-old son is old enough. So he requested, "You have seen me, my dear son, how your mother cooks the food. She put the food on an offering plate. I'll take it into the altar, saying the prayers, and then leave it there, because Krishna is always eating alone. Therefore, we're drawing the curtain. And after 10-15 minutes, we come back in the altar room and takes the plate off with the Mahaprasad, and then we share it out and wash the plate, and then we eat." So you have seen that. So I have to go away, my dear son. I want you to do the offering instead of me. You have me seeing things that many times. I ring the bell, and he gave him the prayers. What prayers? We talked about it. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya, and so on. And then Namaste Saraswati, Guru Mantra, and then Namo Mahavedanyaya Krishna, Namo Brahmanya Devego Brahmana Hitaya. So that was the offering prayers. So he asked his son, "Can you do that?" And the son said, yes, Father, I have seen you doing that, and I have some mantras, so I will do. 3 days, the father would be away. So make sure Krishna is getting his offering and is eating his offering. So father impressed on him. Make sure Krishna is eating the food. So the boy, in his full enthusiasm with his newfound service and duty, father had gone, and the next day the wife, his mother, prepared the offering plate with some foodstuff on it, and he brought it, as his father had instructed him, he brought it in the altar room, put it down on the offering table, and said the prayers. Namo Brahmanya Devego Brahma. 3 times. And then, as instructed, he left the altar room, closed the door, and waited 10-15 minutes. Then he came back in, and the food was still on the plate, and he was perplexed. He was thinking Krishna will eat the food. The father said, make sure Krishna is eating the food, but the plate, all the food was still there. And then he thought, oh, I have done something wrong. Krishna hasn't eaten. Oh, he became very afraid. Oh, my father will become angry when he finds out Krishna hasn't eaten. So he said the prayers again, but this time with a lot of sincerity, and please, Krishna, eat his food, otherwise my father will get angry. He will beat me. So then he went out of the altar again. Altar room. Curtains closed, of course. And then after 10-15 minutes he came in and the food was still there. And now he became really distressed. He prayed with tears in his eyes, "Please, my Lord, eat this foodstuff, otherwise my father, when he hears about that, will become angry. Please do eat this food," with tears in his eyes. So he said all the prayers again. He went out and after 10-15 minutes he came back in. Third time. And the plate was empty. Krishna has eaten the food. Therefore, I said before, if the food disappears on your offering plate, Krishna is eating, your life is successful. So Krishna had actually eaten the food. Krishna can do that. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can do anything. So normally he leaves it for us. Generally. But sometimes he's eating it. The plate is empty. Or he's eating something of it. Then the boy was very happy. He brought the plate to his mother. And the mother said, "Where's the Mahaprasadam?" The boy hasn't really previously understood what is happening, that they're eating the Mahaprasadam from the offering plate. He just knew his father was doing the offering and Krishna was eating, and then the mother had some food on the table. So the mother became disturbed. What happened there? And the boy said, "Well, Krishna ate it. I prayed very hard and Krishna ate it." And he said, "Oh, you have eaten it." She didn't believe him. He became quite upset. And that was going on for 3 days. 3 days. Same story. The boy offered 3 times until he cried, and then Krishna ate it. When the father came back, she told him. And also he had not much faith. He has never seen Krishna eating. He was supposed to return the offering. So he said, "My dear boy, I'm very tired from the journey. Can you do it 1 day more? Do the offering." And the father, he was hiding in the temple room. He was hiding. He wanted to see what's going on. And the boy did not know that he did the offering in the same procedure. First of all, Krishna is always eating alone. It's an offense to be in the altar, on the altar, while Krishna is eating. Amit, you and others, you have seen, as we do at the Hare Krishna Center, we put the offering on the altar, closing the curtain. It's not that someone stands behind that curtain and watches Krishna eating. No, that's not allowed. Krishna is eating in private. So when the boy, the third time, he went out of the altar room, and Krishna extended his hand and he took the offering in front of, he could see it's a Brahmin. And then the Brahmin, the faithless Brahmin, he jumped out of his hiding place and he says, "Hey, I caught you. You're not supposed to eat that offering. You're supposed to give that back to us." What a rascal. And then Krishna spoke to him. "And you are not supposed to hide in the altar room when I'm eating." And as a result of that offense, there were no more descendants in that whole family life. That family line was broken. Only that boy, that faithful boy, the line continued through that boy. So that is an example how Krishna can eat. And as Rituvan Prabhu has said, because we should never think Krishna is is human. He has a human, therefore we say Krishna has a human-like form, not a human form. Because Krishna, all his senses can be interchanged. That's Krishna. Amazing. He has a spiritual body. He can eat with his eyes. He looks at the offering, how nicely prepared and nicely, and tulsi leaves on it. And so he's eating like that. And he's eating with his ears. He hears the mantras chanting, Namo Brahmanya Devego Brahmana Hitai. So he's eating with his eyes, he's eating with his ears. That's how Krishna can eat. Even powerful personalities like Lord Shiva, he could drink the ocean of poison without being affected. So what to speak of Krishna? He can eat the whole universe. So he's eating with his eyes and with his ears. So back to the question. How does that look, the love we have? How we can express his love, Amit, this time? How can we express that love while we're offering our food? And everybody should offer his food, all his food, not some food and sometimes, but all his food. So how can we express our love? Because the verse says, with love and devotion, offers me a leaf, a flower, a bit of water, I will accept it. Amit.
I think if you're in the moment of Krishna consciousness on the transcendental plane, when you offer the food, then that is showing the love for Krishna.
Yes, that's a good answer, because we're going through the trouble of doing a sacrifice, doing a yajna. We offer the food. And if we want to do a little bit more, then we put the food on a separate plate. Like Rituan Prabhu and Amrita Radhe Mataji, they have a plate for Krishna. I have seen other things. I have visited a family. They offer the food. They have an altar. They have deities. They offer the food to the deities. And then they're eating, they're taking it off and they're eating from that plate. That's not a very high standard. The higher standard is Krishna has a separate offering plate. Of course, that's different. Like we previously spoke about offering food on an airplane. So we don't have a separate offering plate. So it's in the plate we're eating after. Yes, which is okay in those circumstances. But at home, if we have an altar, picture altar or deities, then we have a separate offering plate for Krishna. Nobody eats from Krishna's plate. Nobody uses Krishna's spoon, his plate, his cups. They're just for Krishna. And so we transfer it as we do at Hare Krishna Mandir. And then it is Mahaprasad, it's put on a plate. And Krishna's plate is washed and put away. And nobody should eat before Krishna's plate is not washed and put away. So that love can be expressed by doing a nice offering, by making the endeavor of having a nice altar, having Gaurani or Panchatattva, 5 personalities of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Srivas, all the 5. Picture altar, very nice, sufficient. And Srila Prabhupada. So that is an expression of love. We can also meditate. If we develop a particular relationship with Krishna in Goloka, either as a friend, as a parent, as a lover, we can meditate also of offering foodstuff to Krishna. The gopis have offered foodstuff. Radharani has offered foodstuff. So we could meditate on being some assistance there. That is also a possibility later on. But we offer generally at the beginning, certainly, later also, through Srila Prabhupada. We can meditate on offering Srila Prabhupada, because that will be quite easy. We have seen photos of Srila Prabhupada, we have seen videos of Srila Prabhupada, we have seen Srila Prabhupada respecting prasadam with the devotees, or someone serving prasadam to Srila Prabhupada. There are a few nice pictures there. So we just can meditate on serving some prasadam to Srila Prabhupada. And he had also a very high standard. For instance, devotees were not very expert at the beginning in cooking. He taught them. He taught the devotees how to cook, particularly Jamuna. She was his cook. And he taught her how to do the different preparations. Himself, he was cooking before he came to the West in Radha Damodar temple. And the first year when he was alone in the West, he had a pressure cooker, a 2-3-tier cooker, where you can make prasadam, 3 different preparations at the same time. So he taught the devotees how to make chapatis. So the chapatis, anyway, someone was doing chapatis in the kitchen and bringing it to Srila Prabhupada. And he took the chapati and he put it back and said, chapati means hot. Oh. As we know, we hardly ever get hot chapatis. Except you have a wife at home and she cooks and she makes the chapati straight off the flame and puts it on your plate. That's the best. So Srila Prabhupada wanted hot chapatis. He wanted to train his disciples how to do it. Most of the time, we're getting cold chapatis or reheated in the microwave, and that is one thing. But hot chapatis directly from the frying pan, whatever we call it, tava, that is best. So he sent the chapati back to the cook. And that was going on 2 times. And then the cook finally, he figured it out, how to do it. And the chapati was blowing up nicely, as it should. On the tava, you do the chapati, you roll it and put it on the tava, and then you put it on a flame, if you have a gas cooker. And then once the chapati is on the flame, you turn it around. People are very expert with their fingers, without burning their fingers. I cannot do that. I'll take some tongue, wooden tongue, or some spatula I have. I just go under and flop it over. So the expert chapati makers, they pick it at the side and flop it over. And then they put it on the flame. And then the chapati, if it's a good chapati, a perfect chapati, he blows up because the air inside chapati expanding, and that's a perfect chapati. So they brought then that chapati to Srila Prabhupada and he said, that is how chapati should be. So, how did we get there? It was the story of the boy and the father. So it's a lot about offering today. It's important. These are very practical things. If we go back to the purport, if we offer, Srila Prabhupada says, if we offer our foodstuff first to Krishna, then we become perfect in yoga practice. And then is also an important point Srila Prabhupada raises. No one can artificially abstain from eating or manufacturing his own personal process of fasting to practice yoga. So that is not recommended. People do fasting for all kinds of reasons. Some people fasting for political reasons. This is not recognized as a bona fide process, the bona fide yajna in the service of Krishna. Fasting we do according to the scripture. What is that fasting? We do according to the scripture. Rituam, Prabhu. According to the scripture, which kind of fasting we do? Rituan, Amrita Radhamataji, are you there?
Sorry, Prabhu, I missed because of the chaos around. What's the question? Sorry.
The question is, as devotees, we don't fast for political purposes or anything like that. What is our fasting?
Oh, Ekadashi fasting we do only for the pleasure of Krishna,
Yes.
not even to get rid of sins, but for the pleasure of Krishna, so that he blesses us with bhakti. So that's one. And Rituman Vihari Prabhu is adding that there are some festivals on which we fast to
Yes.
increase our remembrance and meditation on the
Your internet
Lord. Like, for
is
example,
your
Ram Navami, Gaur Purnima, Janmashtami. These are all, they all awaken the desire to serve and please Krishna in our heart.
your internet is very bad, but I just could make out what you were saying here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Fasting on Ekadashi. Amit, what does that mean? Fasting on Ekadashi. What's Ekadashi?
Rishi, it's twice a month, isn't it? We
Correct. Yes,
fast,
yes.
yeah.
So how do we do fasting on Ekadashi?
Yeah, we don't. There's only a certain food we can eat.
Oh, very nice. Thank you. What is that certain food we cannot eat? Let's put it like that.
Well, yeah, the normal foods, like the you can't have anything with less protein in it. It's like any lentils or
Lentils is one, yeah. Okay. What else? Lentils means dal.
Yeah, dal.
What else?
No,
Three
two others.
things. Three things. What else? Ekadashi. No grains.
No grains, yeah. So I was
No
thinking grains
chapatis.
is similar.
Well,
I don't think you can
it's
have milk
distinct.
either.
Grains and lentils are two different things.
Okay.
So no grain, like bread, like chapatis, like so many things have grains inside. No grain, no lentils, and no pulses. Pulses are like beans. So no, we think Ekadashi, oh great, I have baked potato with beans. No, baked potatoes without beans, yes. Or cheese, it's okay. So that is our fasting, as Amrita Radhamataji has pointed out, twice a month. Some people do more than that. Some people fast all day long, full fast. And then Amrita Radhamataji mentioned on festival days. There are certain fasting days, like Janmashtami, like Gopunim. We recently had Gopunim when we were in France, in Rouen. Yeah, there was fasting till moonrise. Why moonrise? Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. That Gopunim is his birthday, so to speak. He appeared at moonrise. So we were abstaining from food. Water, devotees take. Some don't even. Water is okay. And up till moonrise, personally, I felt it was such a potent spiritual atmosphere there. That fasting was the easiest fast I ever did. It was easy. Completely forgotten. There is fasting. There was so much going on, and there was beautiful Kirtan going on. There was Abhishek going on. So one wouldn't think of eating. And afterwards, after moonrise and all the celebrations have been done, then there was a big feast. An Ekadashi feast. They often do like that. So that is festival, that's Jamashtami. The fasting is even a bit longer, up till midnight, because Krishna appeared at midnight. The idea behind is very clear. We preparing for the appearance of the Lord. We don't want to indulge in eating. We are fully concentrated and focused on the appearance of the Lord. Once the Lord has appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna at midnight, then we respect some prasad. So that's our fasting, devotees fasting. So not, again, as Srila Prabhupada points out, not for any other purposes. So let's go a little bit more on that purpose. It's just a little bit more. The Krishna conscious person observes fasting as it is recommended in the scriptures. And that's Ekadashi and the festival days. He does not fast or eat more than is required. And that makes him a competent yoga practitioner. And so Srila Prabhupada put an interesting point. One who eats more than is required will dream very much while sleeping. And he must consequently sleep more than is required. But there is a connection there. Interesting. Too much eating, more dreaming, sleeping longer. And as we have already discussed, one who sleeps more than 6 hours out of 24 hours is certainly influenced by the mode of ignorance. And the general characteristic of a person in the mode of ignorance, if that person is lazy and prone to sleep a great deal. Such a person cannot perform yoga. So we have to come at least to the level of goodness. So any questions to that verse of today? Or anything related to it? Vijay, questions? Amit, your microphone is on. Maybe you have a question.
Oh, yeah, I had a question.
Vijay, you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Come closer to the microphone.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's good. That's good.
when offering your food to Prabhupada or the Panchatattva, or can you I know I'm not in India. Well, we're not in India, so can we offer the leaves, tulsi leaf, with the food? Yeah.
You should, yes. You have an altar at home, Vijay?
No, but what I do, I use the picture from the internet, Prabhupada and the Panchatattva. I use the picture from the internet.
Okay.
I haven't framed it. I haven't got a frame at the moment, but
you should frame it. That's very nice. Very nice frame. So
yeah.
you frame it nicely. You have a picture of the Panchatattva, as explained before, and a picture of Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you can, which is also available, you can have a picture, small little pictures of the whole Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Sri Gaurav Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and even if you like Jagannath Das Babaji. So Parampara, like in the temple. That's very nice, of course. From left to right. Srila Prabhupada is on the left. Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Chaitanya Das Babaji is on the far right,
Mhm.
from our point of view.
From our point of view. Okay,
Yes.
so Shri
Like in the
Prabhupada's on the
temple.
left. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
like in
Yeah.
the temple. And then
Yeah.
you have a picture of the Panchatattva. That's a perfect altar. You can also put a picture of Lord Nrsimhadev. That's also nice. The
And Lord
Guru
Chaitanya. Yeah. Lord
pictures.
Chaitanya. Sorry. Can
Yes.
I need Lord Chaitanya as well? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I need picture of him on as well.
No, Panchatattva is already included. It's fine.
Pancha is included.
Just Panchatattva picture.
Okay.
Frame it nicely.
Mm.
And the Guru Parampara and picture of Lord Nrsimhadev. And ideally, the Guru pictures should be one step lower than the Panchatattva, if you can manage that. Just
Okay.
get a little box, a cloth over, and put Panchatattva on a higher level.
Oh,
Would be
okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Because that's Vishnu Tattva. So, what was your question?
Oh, sorry. It's just offering tulsi leaf. If I think that's very dear to Lord Krishna, and if you offer the leaf with the food.
Yes. Ideally, if you have tulsi,
Mm.
fresh
Mm.
or dry,
Mhm.
then you put a tulsi leaf on each of the preparations.
Mm.
That would be ideal. That would be perfect. If you
Do you need
don't
to
have fresh tulsi leaves, you can put dry tulsi leaves on each preparation. If you don't have dry tulsi leaves,
Mm.
you get a piece of wood from the dry wood from the tulsi tree, and you touch the preparations with that branch of the tulsi tree. And if you don't have a branch of the tulsi tree, you just call out tulsi, tulsi, tulsi. That will do. Very practical.
Mm.
Anybody can do that. If you don't have tulsi leaves, then just tulsi, tulsi, tulsi.
Yeah. Okay.
And as you said, Krishna is very pleased if the offering comes along with tulsi, because tulsi is his dear devotee. So she is there, very pleased. He will accept.
Mm.
Anything else?
No. I had a different question about
Go ahead.
at the time of death. If you remember Krishna, he makes the promise. I think at the time of death, the mind takes you to a next birth. Is that correct? The
Yes.
mind takes you there.
Yes.
Right, but if you remember Krishna, then it's Krishna that comes. I think maybe I don't know if he comes on Garuda, but I don't know. But it's not your mind that takes you to Krishna. It's Krishna
If your
comes.
meditation is on Krishna, doesn't come on Garuda. Vishnu comes on Garuda.
Oh, Vishnu, yes. Oh, yeah,
If
yeah.
your meditation is throughout your life on Lord Vishnu, then at the time of death, Vishnu may very well come on Garuda. And he extended his hand and he pulls you back to Vaikuntha.
Mm, mm.
But
Yeah.
if we come back, the mind
Hey, Angida.
return.
Angida.
Mm.
We want to say something, return?
Sorry, Prabhu. It went. The speaker went on, I think.
What was that?
I think he put the microphone by accident.
Oh, yeah, accident.
Yeah,
Okay.
accident. Yeah.
Yes, can happen. So, the mind, the ego, and the intelligence, these three are the subtle body. The gross body. Gross means we can touch it, we can see it. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Right? That's a gross space. That's the gross elements of this material nature. Bhumi, Apo, Nalo, Vayu. Then we have the subtle elements, mind. We cannot see the mind. We cannot touch the mind. We cannot hear the mind. Mind, intelligence gets even more finer. And the ego, the false ego, our subtle identification with this material world. These are the finer elements which are called the subtle body. That subtle body, the soul takes shelter of that subtle body at the time of death. And if the mind is not fully purified, then that subtle body takes us to the next body. Right? That subtle body. Therefore, that same mind, that same intelligence, the same false ego we having now, or we're taking shelter of now, then in the next body, that same mind, that same intelligence, that same false ego will be there. So there is a continuity. Return, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, as you mentioned that, like, when at the time of death, one is thinking of Krishna, Lord Vishnu.
Yeah.
He goes to Vaikuntha Loka, and Vishnu Doots come to, take him to the Vishnu Loka. If a devotee is going to Goloka or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Dham, so in that case, in those for those devotees, who comes? Basically, are they four-handed Vishnu Dutas or somebody else?
Okay, the question is really who takes them to Goloka? Well, first of all, they don't go to Goloka immediately. They go to the earthly Vrindavan first. When we are sufficiently purified, we going for the final training. We're not going directly to Goloka in the spiritual world, to the Aprakrita Dham. We appearing in some universe where Krishna performs his pastimes. Because Krishna's pastimes going around the clock. Then we will get the final training from the Nitya Siddha devotees of the Lord, from the eternal inhabitants. And once we train sufficiently, then we're going to Goloka, to the Aprakrita Dham, to the spiritual world. Of course, Vrindavan, the earthly Vrindavan and the Vrindavan in the spiritual world are non-different, but still, their final training is done on the earthly Vrindavan. There is a beautiful description of Gop Kumar when he went to the spiritual world. He went also to the earthly Gokula, and he couldn't tell the difference. He expressing that. He didn't know if he's in the earthly Vrindavan or is he in the Goloka. He didn't know. He didn't understand. So therefore there is no real difference. Who is getting us? We followers of Srila Prabhupada. We may have our initiating guru also, but eventually all roads ending by Srila Prabhupada. So we have, there's one interesting story, a devotee who was practicing Krishna consciousness for some time, but then he fell away and was leading material life again. And when he was near the time of death, somehow or other, devotees heard of him and they remembered him. That he was such a nice devotee, even though he for maybe 10, 20 years he hasn't practiced Krishna consciousness at all. He fell back into his materialistic habits. And they heard of it, and then they came to his deathbed. A number of devotees chanting, and as we do, and assisting him. After all, he has been a devotee. Anyone, Krishna, anyone who has offered even some insignificant service to Krishna, Krishna will never forget. And he was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, initiated disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So then when the time appeared, time of death, then he suddenly opened his eyes very widely and said, "Oh, Srila Prabhupada, you have come." Of course, Srila Prabhupada didn't. The devotees couldn't see that. But Srila Prabhupada had come to him and saved him. So Guru will save us. Guru will take us. Srila Prabhupada will take us. And when Pishima, Srila Prabhupada's sister, left, one Mataji who was very closely connected and served her and helped her, she could perceive Srila Prabhupada in the corner of the room at the time when Pishima left her body, and Srila Prabhupada extended his hand with a big smile to Bhishma and take her. So Guru is taking us. Then Srila Prabhupada is taking us back home. Achamil was taken by the Vishnu Dutas. But the Vishnu Dutas, they don't carry us to Goloka. Vishnu Dutas are Lord Narayan's servants. They don't know anything higher than Lord Narayan, which is fine, which is Vaikuntha. Does that answer your question? Rituan?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anything else? Anyone? We coming to the end of our program tonight. Anyone? Any other question? If not, we'll stop here. And we see you back on Saturday. Do come on Zoom. Hare Krishna. All glories to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.